Hi there, and so begins the colouring stage of this toxic waste zombie. Here we are. We start to colour in. I'm using the Crayola twistables as I found them easy to use and I don't have to sharpen them. I just twist the end just to get the pencil lead out. And I start to do a bit of shade in here. Do like some of the darker areas. Because then the lighter areas are going to be a nice blended yellow with this toxic waste. Just start to shade in areas here. Of course, I've rubbed out all the pencil lines, so it looks a lot cleaner as well, to use the colours as well. So I think because this colouring stage is going to take quite a long time, this might be the longest video, so I'll just try and describe what I'm going to do and maybe colour so much and then maybe show you, the end result at the end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on with all that green on the toxic waste and do all the dribbles, that type of thing. I'm going to colour the biohazard design, the red on there, and then maybe a yellow going around there. The barrel will be just a colour, of itself. There'll be various bits of blood here and there and everywhere, and maybe like a grey blue type, purpley type zombie skin, I think. Yeah, so I'll just get on with it. Because I think it'll be better if you see this done in like stages, and I'll probably, once I colour it all in, I'll probably talk you through it, what I did on the, near the end of the video or something like that. Because the last two videos have been like 20 something minutes each, so, and I shouldn't really be doing long videos really, because so some people like them, but some just can't be bothered to watch them. Or I might just skip to the end, which I don't blame them, if it's that too long, got better things to do than watch me draw something in real time. So I've finished off the lighter colour. Well, it won't be the lighter colour because the yellow on top will be the lighter colour, but the lighter green anyway. So we've got the dark green here, and we can just go into some areas and just add some darker area. Just to add some maybe shades, that we want to add under there, just to add a bit of depth to the you know, the toxic waste at least, you know. And this is what we do with all the colours on the piece as well, so we don't do it everywhere, we can just do it in just certain places, just to add a bit of further shadow. But since it's mainly like a bright toxic waste, it's when I add the yellow over all the white spaces, I'll leave a couple of tiny white spaces, but mainly all of it, it should look a lot brighter and a lot more toxic waste like. Just try and smooth out your colours, you know, just to try and so they'll blend quite easy, because once I put that yellow on the top, it's going to be more smoother in colour, if you know what I mean. It'll be more, a little bit more blended anyway, so some dark under there. So we've got a little bit of dark there, but we get the yellow now. We can start to go over some of this. So sort this out there. Oops. There we go. So you can try to leave some white areas where you can, but try and go over the existing greens you've already done as well, because it makes it, I don't know, it just gives a nice rich tone to it. So Joe, you can do what you want, colour it how you want. Maybe since it's toxic waste, add some browns in there or something, or you know, it's entirely up to you. The idea with this toxic waste is, since it's radioactive, when we come to colour, you know, the other parts here, you know, that'll all be facing it, we want to give like a glow effect on, you know, that shines on here as well, you know, and maybe the chin and parts of the nose, that type of thing, some of the barrel edges, that type of thing. So it just all like, it brings all the drawing together then. I mean, I've never seen any toxic waste in real life, you know, so I'm only going by something I've probably seen in a movie, like you know, I don't know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you know, they was created out of toxic waste or something like that. I can't remember. Trying to remember now. Was it a barrel or something green anyway, wasn't it? Mind you, that's just going by the cartoon, and I think it was on the movies, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll stop talking shite and just get on with this. Yeah, just overlap the yellow, you know, just make it blend like I said. Just get any bits you've missed. Doesn't matter if you go over certain lines because it's supposed to add to that glow effect anyway. And then we have like the toxic waste. So I've got like a dark bluey colour. I just want to use this lightly. You know, just use it like so, because we want to create a blended bluey purple effect really for this zombie. Remembering to colour mainly the top there, you know, because there'll be this brighter area coming from here and it will reflect underneath these areas, so I'll leave that area slightly because I want to put some purple and reds there as like blood and stuff like that. Really just like sketching, you know, the colour lightly. You don't have to be precise, or you know, it's just about laying the colour down and seeing about blending it later on. Mind you, I said this isn't going to be a long video, but I can imagine it will be. Anyway. Remember where there's darker areas you've inked, go over them dark with the pencil crayon and then smooth out as you get around the edges, you know, because they are the darkest folds. Then we take purple, just need to wind it up a bit, there we go, and we start to go over the top of that blue, and you'll see it make it slightly darker, and we carry it through. To the white areas. We don't press down totally hard, you know, because it'll overwhelm the colour and it'll just look purple. We want it to look like a bluey purple. Don't be afraid just to press real hard in the bloody areas, because all that blood could have, you know, gone all rotten and stuff like that, and you know, you can do it on these areas here, and you could overlay that with red, you know, and even browns if you wanted to, but I'll just stick to these colours at the moment. And there. And some of these can just purple there. Just try and shade any way you can, just to create that, you know, look of form and structure to the whole thing, because it just brings it all together if you know, colour your drawings this way. And I was going to do this green, but then I thought, if I'm doing the toxic waste like a greeny colour, I don't think it would have stood out as much, or stood out as much, sorry. You can slowly see the colour of the zombie coming together. So the reason I know this works quite well is I've done a purple zombie before, and you know, the blue and the purple together just they just create this like magical effect of like rotting flesh, or you know, skin, that type of thing. So I just like to draw them that way, but sometimes I have been known to use like greens and browns for some reason, sort of like earthy colours, but I'll draw some dark purple in there, just around like that. that's mainly like the top layer on there. I'll continue off camera on here doing the same as I've done there, and then we'll start introducing a bit of blood here and there, and the reflection of this toxic waste under there and these areas, and then the rib cage. Yeah. And so now we've added some basic highlights, and we've done the head, pretty much like the arms, the top of the arms. I've got a red now. I'll just try and do some like blood areas where we want just to highlight certain areas here, and just do the same. You don't have to, you know, colour in full areas or anything. It's just about drawing suggestions here and there. Maybe draw some blood slightly on the teeth just to add to that effect. Particularly if you want to, the purple areas, the red will just blend quite nicely with the, you know, the purple. So I mean, sometimes it overpowers it, but I prefer under the eyes to be quite red. The blood areas there. I'll do some of these areas too. Colour them bits in red, because that'll all be red in between. A couple of little red bits down there, and mixed in with this purple bit here. And obviously some there as well. And don't forget the fingers up there. Don't leave them out. So they're the main blood bits, you know, that we want to get in, and it makes it more look zombie, a bit more zombie-like, you know, when you start to add the blood there. So really, what we want to do now is try and add a few yellow highlights to the green area. Oh, there's a bit of blood area I missed there. I'll do that. Yep. So you'll see that in the next, you know, section. And so as you can see, we just have to do the barrel and, you know, the biohazard design, which we'll get around to in a minute. So we take the red and we just start to colour. Now I'll press quite hard on this one. And I'll just try and keep within the lines. If possible. Keep within the lines. Trying to hurry up here. come back to that, you know, just make it totally, you know, filled in there. So we take our black Crayola twistable pencil, just get a slight bit on there, and we start to shade in areas on here, just slightly, just to give a suggestion of a barrel. And we'll do this all on the barrel, and then we should come back and I'll do the yellow bit just around that biohazard design, do a few other areas, and I'll show you right at the end. And so here we have our, I'd say, finished piece now. I've coloured it all in, you know, as best we can. You know, the barrel's got some shade in there, and I've coloured that biohazard design in. You know, I could have done it all red, but I just like that yellow circle bit in the middle. It's like a proper warning sign, but you know, other people could do it different, like all red or, you know, all yellow. It's up to them. And yeah, just added a bit of grey onto the eyes. And then that'll do.